quick sound check, and just type a 1 in if you can see my screen and hear me okay. A 1 in the chat box. Let me know everything's good. All right, lots of 1s coming in. Super. Excellent. Okay, we'll go ahead and get started here. I think I said it in the description, we're going to go over the theme. If we have time, we're going to do that towards the end. I kind of decided to switch things up a little bit. I wanted to cover some stuff that we're getting a lot of questions coming in through the support desk, and it's just kind of some basic stuff, but I want to make sure that everybody's clear on that. So I've got a lot of material to cover there, but we will get to that as far as the theme updates and stuff like that. But there's a lot of cool stuff with it, but I think this stuff that we're going to cover today is actually more important and kind of comes first. So with that, let's go ahead and got my record button on. Yep, we're good to go. Okay, so I'm going to open up my little slide box here, and this is something that I see. I just saw a support desk come in about 24 hours ago, and I see this almost on a daily basis, and people say, hey, my site's not ranking. And let me just increase the size of this here. Zoom out. Is that right? Nope. Oh, right. Let's get that backwards. Okay, zoom in and zoom in again. There we go. Okay, so here, I'll just put this on full play. We'll do it that way. Okay, there we go. Okay, so so basically this kind of stuff comes in all the time. I had somebody write in. They had I don't know, they had 5 or 10 sites or so, and they couldn't understand why they weren't ranking. They've had them for a while. And so I want to cover some of this stuff over, and they were almost ready to give up on this site. So like, well, maybe these sites don't work anymore, and I need to move on to, you know, doing the new kind of master domain sites. Look, both methods work just fine. Okay. So if you're having challenges to have a site rank or a page rank, then you need to pay attention to this kind of stuff. And this is all based on research that we've done using fairly expensive tools to study backlinks and study actual other live sites that are ranking on page 1 locally for competitive terms, and then boil it down to what do they all have in common. And so that's where this information is coming from. Some stuff you maybe recognize, some of it you won't on here. So let me just go over the basics on here. So it's really important to kind of review this and kind of some updates on it. So this is just the first part of this. I'm just going to go over pure anchor text. Okay, so this is on and off page anchor text, really important. Again, this is all based off of, this is not based off of a course. This is not based off of theory. This is based off of studying other sites, particularly local sites, not any other, not other kind of sites like CPA niches or other blogs or anything like that. Local sites that are ranking successfully organically on page 1. And I might add, without using Google Places. Okay, so like what we do when we rank our site. So let's get started here. Okay, so what I'm about to share here is it's applicable to both on and off page anchor text. So whether you've got on page anchor text, that would be posts that you're supporting for the page that you want to rank, or you're doing backlinks. The same rules apply on here. So first one on here is less than 2% of all your anchor text should be your main keywords. And I think 2% is actually kind of high. It should even be less than that, like 1 or 2. And that's what we're finding out there. Sites that are ranking for competitive terms, have got backlinks to it. It is almost impossible, not impossible, but very difficult with using, 3 of the top backlinking analyzing tools, the highest pro version of them, which they're each about $500 a month. So they all kind of overlap in some areas, but they all gather different intel from different places. All of them are the same. It's really, really hard to find sites that are ranking on page 1 that have more than 2% of their backlinks or anything resembling what we would consider a keyword. So we're going to hold back on that. So you're actually better off not doing your anchor text with your main keywords until after you've done some of these other anchor texts first. Okay, I would just hold off on it. Google is really sensitive to it. And when we see also too, when we analyze sites that, we've analyzed a few sites that people will send in, clients will send in, our customers, and we'll run it through some of the backlinking software. And it's not a service we offer, by the way. We've done it for a few to just look at it, and it just becomes blandly obvious. Every single backlink they have is some kind of anchor text, just some kind of variation of a keyword. Okay, so you really got to steer away from that kind of stuff. So new sites never start with the keyword anchor text on or off page. Just forget about it. Okay, just don't do it. These are just approximates. Approximately about 30% of your backlink should just be the URL. And these are the three kind of versions of, the www or mysite.com or without the www. Just know, that's your best bet right there. When in doubt, just use that. Okay. About 20% of it, and this is real world, about 20% is going to be a company name, but not if you've decided to pick like a keyword rich spammy name, then just don't do it. Okay, so like if for some reason you got, San Diego Plumbers.net, and that's kind of your company name that you're using for your lead gen site, don't use it. Okay, it's too spammy. If you're using something like, AAA, AAA PlumbingBrothers.com, that sounds like a company name. You could probably use that just fine. It's not spammy, okay? Or A1 PestBegone Incorporated.com or something like that. That's not spammy. Not Pest Control Sacramento. That's not a company name. It's too spammy, okay? It sticks out like a sore thumb. It's so easy for Google to detect that, and it's so unnatural. It's just like, oh yeah, it's so easy to create an algorithm to identify that stuff. What's interesting is that about 10% of the images, about 10% of the backlinks are actually images, and they're just images, usually logos of the site, but Google can't tell. So any kind of image, and it's got a clickable link that just goes back to the website. About 20% of the links, and sometimes even higher, is just like click here, check out this site, visit here, learn more, click here, just stuff like that. And then about so the kind of keyword stuff, aside from the company name, as long as it's not spammy with keywords in it, then you're looking at words that are going to be associated with the niche. Okay, so if it's a plumbing niche, you may talk about copper pipes. So something might be copper pipes. Guess what? You may not be trying to rank for copper pipes. That's fine. But that would be a good anchor text to use. Okay. What would be another one for sub pump? A sub pump would be something, a word that would relate to some kind of plumbing. Guess what? Probably not trying to rank for that. That's okay. That's the idea. Okay. Alrighty. So less than 2% of the anchor text should be main keywords. So like in this example here, niche is, let's say, your plumber. Then these might be some of the keywords that you might want to be ranking for: plumber, emergency plumber, and drain cleaning. The other keywords are completely optional on here, and I would probably just back away from them. That would be plumber San Diego, 24-hour emergency plumber, or clog sink. But the point is that I'm convinced from the sites that we've studied out there, the real world sites that are ranking, page one, either in one city or multiple cities. Google can just tell what your site is about, what it should rank for by what's on the home page or the page that you want to be ranking for in that particular city. So if you got a page for plumbers in San Diego, and you've got the right content on that page, got the right title tags, the right meta tags, the right H1 tags, Google's got it figured out. They're like, okay, I already know, and I got an address and phone number on here. Google already knows that that's supposed to be ranking for anything close to do with plumbing in the San Diego area, and then just back the heck off of trying to stuff down Google's throat all of these kind of keywords. Okay. Don't do this. Okay. This is the kind of stuff we see all the time. So people will use anchor text either from posts and or from backlinks, and they use all kinds of variations of their main keyword. Plumber in San Diego, plumbing San Diego, plumber in San Diego, California, so on and so forth. Okay, just back off of it. I know it's hard for some people to do. It's like got to go to AAA, anchor text keyword rich anonymous or something to stop doing it. But when we see people are not ranking and they've got a lot of backlinks and they've got a lot of pages, a lot of content on their site, 10 out of 10 times it's because their anchor text is just fully stuffed with keywords. Not a good idea. Okay, so newer sites never start with the main keyword, as I said earlier on that. Just don't do it. Okay, instead just start with a click here, a URL, just the basic stuff. Okay, so about 30% of the sites of your anchor text should be some kind of variation of your URL. That's all. Okay, 20% on here to begin. Don't pick spammy names on here. So these are, if the www. Plumber in San Diego, California. That's not a good company name to be using. It's just too spammy on here. And a couple examples on here: the Plumber Brothers, Plumber Geeks, AA Plumber Pros on here. So those could be stuff that you could use, and it would be okay, I think, in our opinion, to be able to use those actual words, the Plumber Brothers, for anchor text as a company name. Okay, about 10% are images. So any kind of images you want to have, you've got on your site. If you got, right after this, we're going to talk about backlinks and type of backlinks. Okay, so this just goes right into that. So, and I'll show you there where we'd use these clickable links on here. But what's surprising is that many sites that are ranking on page 1 had I've never seen it before. I've never looked before. A lot of them consistently had images that were clickable that went back to the site, and it was usually a logo or something like that. Okay. So the rest of them, like 20%, is just a click here, go to this site, check this out, visit this site, great site, stuff like that. Okay. And then about 18% of the words, or 20%, just use words that are very similar that would be used within the same niche. And you can do stuff like you can do the niche name. So say it was plumber plus glossary. If you do plumber glossary and you do a search on Google, you're going to get a tremendous amount of keywords that you may not want to rank for, but would be talked about and considered within that niche. And those would be the keywords that you want to use, not all these 20 different variations of the main keyword that you want to do. So you can go to Google Keyword Planner, but don't get too caught up in it. That's kind of my least favorite for looking for just words that are associated with a niche. The glossary, the niche plus glossary, is going to be your best bet. Okay. So these are some of the examples that I came up with in the plumbing niche when I looked for plumber or plumbing glossary. Drain, discharge drain, faucet, garbage disposal, hose, rain barrel, septic barrel, plunger, sewer, solar water heater, tankless water heater, well pump. Okay, you get the idea. These are probably keywords you'd never want to rank for. It's not the point. Okay, point is that it sounds really natural for an anchor text. Okay. Alrighty, so just to recap on here, less than 2%, and it should be the main keywords that you want to rank for. Just back off of it and just really know, and I'm convinced of this. Google and the other search engines, they know just off of your homepage or whatever page you're trying to rank in whatever city, they know off the title tags, the content that's in there, they know when that site should be coming up for when people type in search terms. Okay. With newer sites, don't ever start with keywords with your anchor text, either on site or off. Just back off of it. Use all your other options. Company names, as long as it's not spammy, URL, images that are clickable. And of course, if you're going to do a clickable image, that's just using another URL, right? And then after that, words that are associated with it. Just like in that back frame that I had there, faucet, rain barrel, stuff like this, drainage, sewage, So, okay, so, alrighty. Now the next section here, what I want to do is I wanted to then move on into backlink and backlink strategies, because I'm seeing a lot of people kind of mess up here on this, and actually quite a few people who will contact our support and say, hey, my site's not ranking, blah blah blah. If it kind of falls into two categories. One, they're using all spammy backlinks on and off page, or they're not using spammy backlinks, but they got like no backlinks or hardly any whatsoever. So I want to go over that next. But before I do, because we'll kind of break this up into sections here. So this first section was just anchor text on and off page. So if you've got questions to do only with anchor text, put those in the chat box and I'll answer those now before moving on. And I'll just open up the chat box and take a quick peek there. Oh, the slides are not showing. Darn it. Now we got no sound. No sound and no screen. Okay. I apologize for that. Let me run through that again. I'll make it real quick on here, and I'll make sure this becomes available on here. I guess I can't do that kind of stuff. I don't know. Why would that not show? Very odd. Okay, so I guess I should ask in here, can you see my slide now? If you can see my slide in there, just drop in a 1 now. Sound is off only for seconds. Okay, so sound, no. Still cannot see my slide. Okay, bam. Let me try that. Okay. I swear I do regular webinars and I don't mess up on this stuff. So for some reason I just mess up on this. Yeah, okay. So we see it now. Now we got it. Okay. So what I'm going to do on this end of it is I'm going to go ahead. I'll have all these slides available in the replay in the members area on here, and hopefully you could hear what I was saying on here. I think it was just where it was unable to see the screen on here, but you heard most of it on here, and this was the overview of it right here. It's just less 2% of your anchor text should be your main keyword. If your site is brand new, just really back off of it as far as using your main keywords for anchor text. The majority of your backlinks should really be stuff like variations of your URL, a company name as long as it's not a spammy company type name. Click here, see this site, check it out, visit here, cool site, stuff like that. And then words that are associated with it. And that's really key. And this was a list of it here. All I did is just typed in, plumber plus glossary, and I came up with these: drain, faucet, main pipe drain, solar, sump pump, tank, water heater. These are all things that would have to do with plumbing. I may not rank for them, but this is what the other sites are doing out there that are ranking on page 1. These are the kind of backlinks on and off page that they have. So with that, you can now see me or see the screen on here. Let me now see if there is, no, I've lost my chat box. There we go. Okay. So, okay, good. All right. Cool. See something. Yes, was recording. I'm recording the whole time. So on the recording, you'll be able to see it too. Okay, good. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to backlinks. So let me move on there, and we can just shrink that down. I got another slide for that. Yep, backlinks. Okay, so this time I'm not going to go full screen. I'm too afraid you guys aren't going to see my screen. Keep my chat box open. Make sure that we're good to go there. Someone asks on here, what do you think that Google now has their own call tracking for AdWords for advertisers? I think they're on the right track. And I know that we can always provide better service, a more competitive service than Google ever could, and stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, this has been coming down for a while. There's also other citations that also offer pay-per-call as well on that end of it. So that's because it's a good place to be in. It's a great business. Would you rather use one word anchor text rather than long or mixed anchor text? You're basically Tony, for most offline type niches, you're just going to have like 1 to 3 main keywords that you're trying to rank for. So in the example here for plumbing, it was going to be plumber. It's going to be maybe emergency plumbing and drain cleaning. You could get one page to rank for all 3 of those, no problem. And that's going to be it. And so, plumber, that's 1 word. Okay. Emergency plumbing, that's 2 words. And then, drain cleaning, that's 2 words. Those are the 3 that you probably want to rank for in that niche. And so that's how I would answer that. As far as the other anchor texts go, as far as a glossary of it and something that's similar, it doesn't matter, just as long as it's some word that is similar, that would be in the same glossary as the topic there. And that's what the real world is doing out there. When you analyze their backlinks and their anchor text, that's what the real world is doing. So, okay, let me increase the size here. Alrighty, so let me go to the top here. So let's talk about backlinks now. Okay, and this is not going to be real complicated. I've boiled this down to the basics on here. Some of this will be new, some of it won't, but let's go ahead and get started in here. So for the off-page anchor text, what we just talked about, anchor text, it applies to this. Okay, so now we're doing backlinks. The anchor text we just talked about is completely applicable here. And if you have a new site, I would never start off sending anchor text with your main keywords in it. Just all the other keywords, all the URLs, company names, as long as it's not spammy, some glossary words, some click here, cool site, check it out, that kind of stuff. Okay. Later on, when your site's a little more mature, then feel free to give a good juicy backlink with your main keyword in it. Google already knows what your site should be ranking for. We don't need to be pounding it over the head. Okay. So let's look at some of the backlink sources on here. So we've got citations. We're gonna go over each one of these individually. Okay, so first we got citations like our Yellow Pages, Yelp. We have high PR blog comments, right? High PR blog roles. 1 to 2 educational, preferably a contextual, which is it's going to be some kind of original article, and it will have a link going out of there, and it's a do follow. 1 government. Okay. Web 2.0 properties, we're going to be going over those. Private blog network, okay, that's the buzz right now because it really does work. Social bookmarks, but with some caution. Again, I'm going to circle back and go over each one of these individually and how you would strategize it. And as far as with your social bookmarks and goes. I prefer social ADR, and the reason is because that's like from real accounts, but with caution. I'll go over that later. And then if you've got, this is totally optional, but if you've got automated tools, some of you do, like SEO Nuke X. There's a whole bunch of others out there. Article Wizard, stuff like this. We're going to use with caution. But I'll show you how to use them if you have those tools. Some people do, and if you do, I'll show you how to use them properly. Okay, so let's start with citations on here. And I would start out using, and again, this is what we saw with real world sites out there that are ranking on page one, either in one city or multiple cities. The majority of them didn't have, or at least the three main backlinking tools we were using, did not. They didn't have like 50 citations. Okay, most of them had maybe around half a dozen, around 5 or 6 citations. So, and often less. Okay, that's all the backlinks that were found. Okay, so that's where this number comes from. Okay, and so the citations on here 2 to 4. Okay, per niche per city. So let's say that you had a plumbing niche site in Houston, then you'd have 2 to 4 citations in that city and 2 to 4 in another city. Okay, so it'd be the same company name. If you're using the master domain method, which I highly recommend, then you'd use the same domain. It's just / one would be Houston / other one would be Sacramento or whatever other city. It'd have a different phone number because I have a different lead gen phone number and a different address on here. So citation 2 to 4 the most popular in your niche. I'm going to show you how we do that, how we find those. And so basically is what I recommend is coming in and search your main keywords in Google plus the city name for about 5 cities. And on your first about 3 pages of the search engines, just take a note in those 5 cities under your main keyword or words, what citations naturally show up. And we're going to go over those right now on here. And then as far as when you do fill out citations, some of you may or may not have experience with those. You want to fill it out as completely as possible. So if it's got a place for a description, don't just write one sentence. If it says, up to 300 words for description, then, write 200 to 250, maybe 300 words in the description. If it's got a place to post images, put images in there. If it's got a place to post a video, post a video. Make sure you get your categories right. Okay, don't breeze through it. And just make sure it's completely filled out properly. Really important on that end of it. And let's just go take a look at how you do that. So this is a link here. You just type in you can search. There's all kinds of this. I just typed in the top U.S. citation sources. It happens to show them in here for other countries like the UK and stuff too, but they're pretty much the same. But anyways, regardless of whatever part of the world you're in, type in local citations plus your city or country. And these are some of them, and some of these are paid. We're just talking about free listings on here. This is just according to some authors on here, and they're doing it by frequencies of visits. But what really matters is what Google thinks. So if I come into Google and I type in here pest control San Diego, and then I would do so that's my main keyword, right? Pest control. And I just kind of thumb through here and I'd see where are the sites. Now pay attention sometimes here, because sometimes the citation will actually end up being a Google Places too, and sometimes they advertise too. So pay attention to that. And so we got there's one. There's a Yelp. That's a citation. Thumbback. Is that a citation? I can't remember. I think so. My internet connection always slows down when I'm recording. So just bear with me for a second. Yeah, I don't have that much patience, so hurry up or we're going to go back. I'm going to assume that Thumbback is a citation. Pay attention to what they say down here, okay? Pest control, these are what people are searching in here, so they're putting other suggestions down here. Now just pest control San Diego Yelp. And let's take a look at the first 3 pages, see if we can see any other citations that have come up here. Angie's List, that's another one, but that's a paid one. And we'll go one more. I like to go for the first 3 pages, just see what's up there. And then I would do the same process in about 5 cities here. So I just do the same. I'm just going to do different niches, different cities here. Just for example, here's Plumber, Houston, and let's see, Plumber. The Yelp's showing up twice here. Okay. Home Advisor. That's all. We should recognize that, right? Home Advisor. They are selling email leads, and that's what the business that they're in. You can also replicate and do the exact same thing as they do with our Qzx theme and plugin. Notice you'll also start seeing more in this these betterbusiness.org. They get a lot of credit because I think they got to pay $250 a year. But if you've got a real money site, it might be worth it. But otherwise, I'm just going with all free sites. So I'm going to just check one more, the 3rd page. And so far, I'm just trying to capture the ones that I see so far. So normally, here's I did Handyman Seattle. If that was my niche, I'd do Handyman 4 or 5 different cities and go through the same process here. So it looks like Thumbback is definitely a citation. I've seen that a couple times. Angelus, but that's a paid. So here I've got Thumbback, so it's definitely one I'm going to want to do if I was in this niche, right? Because Google's already favoring it, and I'd see that throughout many cities, and that's the pattern. So those are the 1 or 2 that I'm just. There's Home Advisor again. See, it's a $1 billion company. Take note, and here's a Yellow Pages. So if I saw Thumbback and Yellow Pages, and let's say Yelp, and across the first 3 pages in 5 cities, those would definitely be my top 3 for sure. Okay. On that. Okay, so I think you get the idea. I don't want to beat up the point here, but that's what you do. Pick out your 2 to 4, and then I'll show you later what we do with those. We don't just fill them out. We're going to end up also throwing some backlinks at those as well. Okay. All right, so that's enough about citations. Okay, high PR blog comments. The only ones I would get are ones that are going to be. Well, let's start with what you avoid. You're going to avoid the high PR links that you get like on Fiverr and other places, where it's like I can get you 1,000 blog comments for $5 or $10. They're just using automated tools to do that. It's extremely spammy. I'm talking about 1 or 2, maybe 5 manual backlinks, manually written, because the blog comments, if they're going to be a blog comment that has a high PR, then that usually means, not always, but the majority of the time, it means that the person, the webmaster who owns the site, probably can detect a spammy looking comment a mile away, right? I mean, if it's your blog and you got a comment up there and the comment is really not related to it, it's like, whoa, this is great content. I'm going to tell all my friends about it, blah, blah, blah. Keep up the good work. And that's just as spammy as they come, okay? So a good manually entered one, you can buy them out there. I'll show you how to find them. And with the blog comments, usually with the blog comments, you can people will use a keyword in there for their name. Don't just when they ask for a keyword, you either just put a name, your URL. I would do nothing spammy. A random name, Bob, Sue, it doesn't matter, okay? But don't use stuff like San Diego Plumber. That is just like, first of all, it's spammy. It's spammy to the search engines. It's spammy to the blog owner, who more than likely, even if it's a good comment, is going to reject you. Or if they see your site, they're going to end up marking it as spam, and that's the last thing that you want, okay? And so you can get eBay, Fiverr, and I think before the call I did find some examples here. I prefer eBay. That's my choice. But you can find Fiverr. But here's one. I will manually add 5 PR2 blog comments. Okay, it's manual. It's really important. It can't be automated. Manual on here, and it's $5 a piece PR2. Not bad, as long as they got good ratings and stuff. And this is so far they're saying all the right things in here. These are high quality backlinks. Will increase your traffic. Oh man, you do 5 PR2. So it's 5 PR2, maybe higher to PR5. Actual ranks, not the domain. So that's, the actual where they're doing the blog comment, that page has the page rank. Okay, and that's important to distinguish. High quality backlinks. So you get a detailed Excel report. That's important because you want to be able to go back and check it. 100% manual. Do follow backlinks. All the good stuff on here. So this might be one you want to look at as long as they got some good reviews on here, and it looks like they do. So this one you may want to consider doing on here and check it out. So you can do the same thing with eBay, and this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Whereas if I back out of here, I'm sure I'll find one for like 100 blog comments for $5. I will provide 60 high PR links. Yeah, I don't think so. And if they did, they wouldn't stick. Okay, I will do 85 do follow blog comments. Okay, no, stay away from that stuff. It's no good. You'd rather have 1 or 2 high quality backlinks blog comment without using a main keyword than you would 80 or 100. This is a stuff. Look, I will create 1,000 blog comments. Just run as fast as you can. In fact, they should pay you for all the money you'll lose if you ordered that one. Okay, don't do it. Alrighty, go back to the slides. All right, let me go and break down the next one. High PR blog rolls. Again, the blog rolls and the blog comments, this is what, when we studied local sites, okay, that were ranking either in one or many cities, these are the kind of backlinks that they had, okay? And blog rolls was one of them, surprisingly. And it's very easy to spot out. In the beginning, we weren't quite sure. What would happen is we'd end up getting like 45 backlinks from the same domain, but just different pages. We're like, well, what is that? And then you go click on it and you go, oh, it's a blog roll, right? Because a blog roll shows up on every page of the site because it's, it's a blog roll. It's off to the right or left-hand side of the screen, right? And many sites that we studied use blog rolls. But what you don't want to do with that is everyone wants to do the same thing. They want to like, okay, I'm going to put in San Diego plumber, and don't do it. Okay. Don't do it. If you've got a non-spammy name like Roto-Rooter, go ahead and put it in there. If not, I just click here or ask them, can I just put my URL? Okay. Click here, URL, cool site. Check it out. Click here, stuff like that. Stay away from the keywords. I'm telling you, the keywords, this isn't one site. There's many sites we've studied on here. Again, these are not, this is not information we're getting from a course or something like this. Is real life intel, okay? This is what you see in the real life when you spend the money, the monthly money, to examine the tools and the backlinks that you see out there. And this is we did local markets, so maybe this stuff doesn't apply for, if you're trying to rank for affiliate products, whatever. But that's not what we're talking about, okay? That's not what this call is about, right? So, all right, enough of that. Government and educational. Every site that we studied had, even if they were enormous sites or small sites, had 1 to 2 at the most EDU sites, educational, and 1 government site. Okay, so I would probably do the same. Do not go out, and you can find these all over the place. We'll give you 100 educational backlinks for $15 or $10 or $20. Stay away from that. Okay. Preferably what you want is 1 or 2 educational backlinks, preferably a do follow, and preferably contextual. Okay, it's a little article, be original article. Don't let the other Yahoo doing it say, hey, we'll even include the article for you. No, you provide the article, because you don't want some spun crap content. Okay, and you want to get the URL back. We'll talk about that later, so we can send some further backlinks to it as well. And one government site, same kind of deal. Don't do educational blog comment. You know, there are those services out there. I wouldn't do that. Preferably, because you're just going to get like 1 to 3 of these max. Okay. Okay. Enough said with that. Web 2.0. We're going to talk towards the end here. We're going to bring this all together and how you would go about using all this together on here. Slide's not very well done there, but anyways, Web 2.0 properties. You can look up, you know, top Web 2.0 properties. This is top according to what their root domain is as far as page rank. It doesn't mean it's the best out there. I really don't care. I just want ease of use. But these are some of them that are out there. Now, you want to treat these on here. I'm not saying get all these. You could maybe pick 3 or 4, maybe 5. And as you grow, maybe add a few others out here, different ones. And think of these as, think of the Web 2.0s, treat them as a private blog network, as your own private blog, even though you don't own any of these, right? These are all public, are privately owned, and they're allowed in the public to use them. And you don't have to use them all. I don't use Squidoo. I think it's too much work on that. But some of these others that are more like a WordPress blog, and we're familiar with those, the ones like Weebly is, Blogger, on that, Webs is, Office Library, Tumblr is pretty much TypePad, WordPress. So anyways, when you're looking at this, treat them as a private blog network. In other words, if you're going to post a post up on a private blog network that you invested some money in, you wouldn't use spun content, right? You'd use original. Same here. Use original content. With the private blog network, you want to make it look as lived in as possible, not as a link farming tool. So every once in a while, you're going to want to put a post up that doesn't have any links going to it. Okay, that looks natural, right? When you can, you don't have to every article, but you know, it's pretty easy to snag an image or a video off of YouTube and embed it in, just to add some, just to enrich it. And again, you don't have to do it every post, because you know, maybe someone who would naturally write a blog wouldn't use one every time on that end of it. And on here, and then I'll talk about this a little bit later on here, but how we would post this to basically each post. You can do 1 or 2 on the post, either 1 link or 2 links out. But the post on here, I would do a home page and a inner page. So what that would look like if you're using the master domain is that the home page would be for a particular city. So, you know, you have, mysite.com/Houston. So Houston would be the home page, right? And then you'd probably have a silo or an inner page would be a post that would be, some topic about, whatever you're to say, it's something to do with plumbing, and you have some kind of post on that site with a link pointing to the Houston page, and that would be your inner page from your Web 2.0 property that you would point to. And then on your master domain site, you might have, something on here that would be, mysite.com/Sacramento. And so Sacramento probably have a post pointing to it as well. And then from your Web 2.0 property, you'd have an article going out, and maybe one pointing to the Sacramento, and then one pointing to the inner page. That inner page is then pointing back up to Sacramento. So you look at these, even though it's on one domain, Google ranks pages, not sites. So we're still very easy to think of as each city as a separate site, even though it's all hanging off of one domain. Private blog networks, I'm not going to get into this. There's plenty of information out there on this, and I've got lots of information and training inside the paper called Ninja. So take a look at it on there. But again, just to reiterate, you always want to use original content on here with those. If you're going to use keywords, don't get spammy. But if you've got a really good private blog network, and it's got a good age and nice authority to it, and maybe some page rank as well, that may be one of the articles that you want to use one of your keywords for. Okay, but then I just back off and stay away from it there. Again, Google will know what your site is about from what's on your home page, what you put in the title tags, the meta tags, the description. Google will figure it out. You don't need to be hitting them over the head with all of these anchor texts of what you should be ranking for. That's the first sign that you're spammy. And again, the same thing here from your private blog network. If you're pointing out to a master domain, you might have a site here which is Sacramento, and then you might have a post pointing at Sacramento. So you could have one or two links going out from a post in a private blog network, and one would point to the Sacramento, and then another one would point to a post that the post then, as part of the silo, points back up to the Sacramento. And then you could do the same thing for another city, so on and so forth. On here, go slowly with that, with your private blog networks. What we're finding is that there is a tipping point. I can't tell you when that tipping point will be, but we find that there is a tipping point. And what happens is that on your master domain site, all of a sudden you're ranking, let's say, on page 1 for 4 or 5 cities. What you'll notice is that the rest of the cities will rank a whole lot easier, and that may be a time to kind of back off of the private blog networks directly to those pages. And remember that, and we saw this time and time again. We saw this with the Roto-Rooter. We really took apart the Roto-Rooter sites because they're ranking in like all kinds of cities. They were ranking in on page 1, and some of the cities didn't have any backlinks going to it, and they were fairly good sized cities with some good search volume in it. But it still had a lot of backlinks going to its root domain. So don't be afraid that after you're ranking for 4 or 5 cities, and you notice that 6 cities, it kind of popped up to page 2 like fairly quickly with almost no work. I would be electing to go for some of the, rather than a private blog network, I would be going for some of the other backlinks. And if you had a private blog network, maybe go to the home page, maybe not do it at all. Okay. Least amount of effort, maximum results on here. If you have automated link tools on here, what I would recommend on this is never point any of those towards your money site. You have a lot of other places you can point it towards. You can point them, and you should if you have them. And I at this point, my stance on them is that they're optional, but a lot of people have already invested in them. And if you have, I would be pointing those automated backlinks not ever at your money sites, but point them towards your Web 2.0 properties. Point them towards your citations. Point them towards those 1 or 2 government or educational links that you got. Point them towards the back of your private blog network. Those are all fine to do that. And those are your kind of shields, buffer zones to your main site. And if you follow that along with the anchor text, and you're just nice and slow about this kind of stuff, Google's not ever going to look at your site and go, man, that's really spammy. Okay, it's going to look at your links that come in there, and they're going to look as natural as possible. Although we all know it's just a game, right? I mean, no sites ever rank on page 1 naturally. Wake up. It just doesn't happen. I shouldn't say never, but Wikipedia might throw something up there, and obviously that's going to rank, but you don't see that in the local, right? So it's not even applicable there. But should never say never. But the bottom line is, we all know the game, right? 99.99999% of all sites that are ranking for any keywords that are worth ranking for, there's manipulation going on there. And it's just, you're trying to make your manipulation look real, right? You're trying to manipulate, you're manipulating your backlinks. So anyways, funny game we play with SEO, but that's so be it. That's it. So let me go over, I'm just kind of outlining this is, see if I can make a halfway decent kind of little drawing here. Let me make sure, I should check my questions box every once in a while, just make sure that, you know, I have sound and I haven't lost everybody. The questions, let me just pull that up. It's got sound. Okay, good. So we got, okay, so lots of good questions. I'll come back to those questions. Good questions, and I got picture and I got sound. That's what I wanted to check for there. Okay, let me and let me expand this out. Let me just do a little bit of drawing here. And I actually kind of like this tool. Get a whiteboard going. And canvas. And it's a red. Draw. Red. Okay, there we go. Okay, so let's call this right here. We'll do this. This is going to be our money site, and this is money site 1. So that'd be like city 1. So it'd be like Chicago or something, right? Okay, and let's say this is the same domain, right? But this is now call this money 2. Maybe this is, you know, Plumber Sacramento. The first one right here is maybe, you know, Plumber San Diego. And I'll just do one more. It's all off the same domain. And we'll call this money 3. So this is our money site 3. Okay. So what we've got down here is some of the options of backlinks on here. And trying to make this as clear as possible. This is going to be our, this will be one of our private blog networks. Private blog network on here. Okay. And so I've got no problem from this one private blog network. Okay. Sending a link from there out to my money site. Now within my money site, I don't want to get crazy with this. Keep this simple. Oh well, I'll just, okay. So I'm going to have another say, and this is going to be like a post, right? So I got a post on here. I'll put a P for post. So I got a post. I got an original article in here with a non-spammy anchor text linking up to the home page. So my blog network, I might have a post here, and the post here would maybe link to the home page and maybe a link to the inner page. Hope that makes sense. Okay, so I've already said this a couple times throughout the presentation here. Now I'm just sketching it out verbally. And I'd do the same thing from the same, I would also draw out here, you know, to this city, and then this one here, I would do the exact same thing. And yeah, this is gonna get messy. Oh well, let's just go for it. So I got another post here, right? Okay. Now, if I've got another private blog network, I'm going to use that other private blog network next, right? You want to diversify out. If I had another private blog network here, I would then take this private blog network and I'd put an original article on it, and I would go ahead and link out to, you know, this might be Plumbers San Diego, this might be Plumbers Sacramento. Then I would point out this one. And then if I had another private blog network, then I would point here. Then I would loop back around and start over with this guy again. And I'm not afraid to go ahead and point another article to here. And then if I want to throw another link off that same article, I'd support one of the inner pages there. Okay? Hope that makes sense. Okay, so we're going to private blog networks and Web 2.0s, exact same things. Just a little bit different there. I'm going to take a Web 2.0. So I'm going to draw this one down here. So I'm just going to write a W and a 2. Okay, so same thing. I'm going to treat these the same way. I got a post on here, and with this post, I'm going to have no problems. I'm going to try to use this line up here. I'm going to have no problem sending a backlink up here, right? And if I wanted to get 2 backlinks, although I don't want to use the same pattern all the time, I could use that same backlink and also post right here to the post. Okay, so just, I'm treating it same. All right. And same thought process of doing this and going through these. Okay, so these are the Web 2.0 properties. These are my private blog networks. The idea is that these all have different IP addresses, right? And they're all like coming from different voters, right? Different people voting for these sites. Okay. Now, with these Web 2.0 properties, you can as well, and I would encourage you to do this, is you can also take this and also link to your blog networks. And that's perfectly fine to do, but don't link your private blog networks to your private blog networks. Your Web 2.0 properties, that's fine. And you could have another different type of Web 2.0 over here. And if you ever get one of these taken down, it's like all of a sudden you log into your account and it's like, oh, we had to close you down, you're a violation of rules. That means you were too spammy, okay? You didn't follow the basic rules, which is we're not going to do spammy links going out. That's the first thing they notice. Man, if you get a WordPress, a free WordPress, and you got a couple articles going out and it's like San Diego plumber, Houston plumber, pest controls, Dallas, pest control, Miami, boom, you're going to wake up the next morning and you've been wiped off. You've been taken away. Sorry, broke rules. Okay. But if you post something and you like click here, check this out. Okay. You post another article and you don't have any links going out to it. All right. Guess what? You're not going to get your free account, your Web 2.0 account taken away. And it's a good indication that that's the same pattern that you want to follow when you do your private blog networks to make it look as natural as possible. Okay. What I think gives everything away is you've got anchor text of these real spammy keywords, and it's just stay away from them. That's the key. Alrighty. What else do we have here? We've got our private blog networks. We've got our Web 2.0s. We're going to have, we've got a lot of choices over here. And by the way, if you're just starting out and you don't have a private blog network, do everything else that I mentioned there and maybe use a private blog network last. You'd be surprised how far you can get away with all the other links and sources that I talked about before. So I'll just call this a B for blog and a C for comment. How original is that? So blog comment, again, don't use spammy keywords in there. The best is like a click here. Company name, as long as it's not spammy, or just a URL, but just like a person's name, because that's normally what it is. When you go in, if you write a comment on someone's blog, you usually got a name, right? You usually put in like Chris or Peter or something like that, or Sue or something. That's really your best bet. And I know it's like people freak out. They're like, no, I gotta put a keyword. No, you don't. And that's just going to be one, right? So boom, just go right up here. Maybe if you got another private blog network and you got some kind of post down here, it's part of your silo structure, and you just go as deep as you need to, right? You just add articles, drip them out, add links, tell you're on page 1, just back off. And you might have another blog comment, and you might point it towards here, and that's okay to do that. Don't feel like you're wasting it, because it's very natural, and you got a link in here anyways going up to the page, so it's fine. So we got our blog comments. What else do we have? We've got over here, we have our blog roles, right? So I'll use blog and then R for role, right? And same old thing. Boom. You can have this going right up here like that. What you're going to notice is, look, this is like plumbing Miami, plumbing Phoenix, plumbing Sacramento. You get a few more of these going, which is going to be a tipping point. What you're going to find is you're going to hit around that 5th or 6th city after these are ranked on page 1, and you're just going to like float right up to the top. Or it's going to get the site's just going to feel really light, the page, and it's just going to pop right up there. Now we've got, what else we got? We have our citations. I'll kind of move quickly through this. I think so. I'll just put a citation, and I'll put citation 1. So I got citation 1, okay. And so every single city has 2 to 4 citations, right? You got it. And you're just allowed to put a URL in there. So that's going to, the URL for this one is going to be, mysite.com/ Sacramento. So that's, that's boom. And that's going to point up there. And that's all you can really do there. Okay. So now we've got some of these automated tools, right? So some of these automated tools, and I'm just going to put one big one here, and I'm just going to put an A and a T, some of these automated tools. And you just want to do these automated tools, just if you've got them, just go crazy with them. Just don't touch any of this stuff up here, okay? Just go nutso with them, with your citations, okay? Just start blasting your citations, your WordPress, your Web 2.0s, that's fine. Just blast it away. I wouldn't do the blog comments or the blog rolls. You don't need to. They're already going to be high PR, so they're going to, within 24 to 74 hours, a week at the most, it'll already be indexed, so don't even worry about that. Blog networks, yeah, just go ahead and just blast them away all you want. That's no problem. Okay, these are all your shields there. Your citations, because you've just got a couple of citations on here. What you'll find, you get maybe 2 to 4, and don't think more is better. So I'm going to go out and get 4. No, if you're seeing like what I showed in the example here today, you saw like a Yelp and like a Yellow Pages or something like that. I think there was a Thumbback or something like that. If those were the 2 that you saw show up on page 1 and 2 over 5 cities for your main keywords, just focus on those 2, and then send some backlinks to those. Blog roll, you might want to send a blog roll. You got a cheapo blog roll on Fiverr, $5. Go for it. Point it right to your citation, man, and use your keywords. Then don't be afraid about that. Get all keywords spammy all you want to all this stuff, just from the blog networks going directly to your site. Don't get all spammy and keywordy. Go nuts with these though. That's perfectly fine. On here, so your citations, you can start taking some blog rolls back here. You can take some blog comments, and you can just start nailing your citations with those on here. Okay, and those are going to rank. You're gonna have those are going to rank great. Okay. And it's going to give a lot of juice and votes to those. It's okay that it's spammy. They have so much, most of these citations have got, page rank of 5, 7, and 8. And this is just one little dinky site here. It's not going to take much to get it to rank anyways. So anyways, now this looks like a gigantic mess, but hey, I did my best there. So I'm going to turn over to the chat, to the questions here. And you know what? This doesn't. Okay, so can I move this? Can I shrink this down? Oh, no, it's not going to let me. Okay, I was going to try to save it, but I'm going to go ahead and just exit that out. But hold on, don't get. Okay, let's clear. Stop, exit. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Alrighty. Okay, so let me get in here. Should we be doing outbound links to authority sites? Yep, very natural looking. Wikipedia, Google News, looks natural. Sounds like a great plan to me. If you are using a private blog network, do you want to buffer your sites with varied keywords and anchor text, so you can use IPR backlinks for the actual backlinks. Yes, that's fine. Is it okay to duplicate the description content images for each citation? That's a great question, Will. Yeah, we go ahead and do it. I'm pretty sure we do. I'm pretty sure that we do, but you know what? Better safe than sorry, and that would be not to duplicate the description on that end of it. I would state that that's a great question, and just to be on the safe side always, it takes just a little extra work, but I would use original content all across the board in all your stuff that you do. Are paid citations bad or unusable? No, they're not. They're fantastic, Clay. It's just that they're some of the best you can get, in my opinion, and then you start tossing some backlinks at them and they go even crazier. It's just that they're paid. They get kind of spending on here. So what was the plugin you mentioned with the homeowner's reference? That's if you go into the home page. If you've got... by the way, a lot of people have asked this. I want to get this out here. Like this is our, so this is a sample site, right? That we use just as a demonstration for multiple cities and stuff, and how to build it out. I'm not going to get in that today, but if you go into the dashboard with either the theme. This is our WordPress theme. It's got clickable links if you're using clickable phone numbers that tap to call if you're using a cell phone or any kind of smart device. It's tap to call even if you're using a internet or PC like myself on here. But if you've already got this installed and you've already got the WordPress theme, our Qzx theme, and our plugin, which totally integrates with the Qzx tracking system and stuff. It all works together on here. It just updates. So, and I actually took some pictures on here earlier. So I needed to update this because our programmer updated it. And I'm just clicked in here in appearances and theme, and it says, look, update available. Do you want to update? And you click yes, I do. For your plugin, when you go to your plugins, I had my Qzx email lead tracker in here. I had 1.70 unplugged in there, and it said, do you want to update to the newer version? Yes. So if you've already got these installed, you're already using them, the updates will automatically be pushed out to you, and you should regularly be checking your sites for updates because it's important to update them so they come out there. For some reason you don't, we do have the downloads on the homepage of the members area, and you can go in there and check those out. We put them on the homepage because they're in the modules for these particular areas, but we thought we'd put them on the homepage because people are asking, well, I can't find them. So they're there. Let me go back to the questions. Let's see here. So would you buy a citation for a site? No, I don't. We don't buy any citations on that. We just use a couple of citations that are out there, like I explained. Do you always need to use backlinks to get ranked nowadays? Yeah, I would pretty much say so. It depends if it's a real easy niche and you've got a master domain site and you've got 4 or 5 cities already ranking on page 1, you might be surprised that the cities after that, particularly if they're not very competitive, just by putting the site up, the additional page up with original content, can very oftentimes go right to page 1. The master site theme of just answer that question. That's good. So I'll put that in the chat box. I haven't tested this out, but on here, Doug says that this site, particularly here, I'll put it in the chat box, is good for anchor text, but make sure you're not using spammy stuff. I mean, nothing that's even like really close to. I'd use more glossary terms. Can you speak about the do follow versus no follow? We don't even worry about it. Some of your links are going to be do follow, some aren't. Just if we have a choice, we'll choose do follow. But other sites out there have a combination and it looks natural. And I'm not convinced that the no follow means it's worthless. Okay. Squidoo is going away. I never liked Squidoo. It was too much work to set up, and I don't know, it's too hard to streamline. How many pages do you recommend these sites have now? It just depends as far as the pages go. You can have your home page. You can follow the same stuff you would. You can have your home page. You can have your legal disclaimers. Contact us, about us, all those kind of pages, right? But as far as the your main page that you want to rank, and then post, you're just putting up as many posts as until you start to rank, and you're doing that at the same time that you're slowly adding that as you're slowly adding some quality backlinks to it. And once you're up on page one, just kind of you can put the brakes on for a while and just slowly, you get a really slow pace at that point, and ensures that it sticks there. Do I know anyone that can make private blog networks? I'm sure that there is out there, and I know it gets kind of spendy, but that's fine if you've got more money than time, or you've got better stuff to do with your time, more productive wise. Then obviously that's a good investment. I don't on there. If anybody does, who's listening and want to throw it in the chat box, please do. Yeah, Sean, as far as with the August 6th webinar and the FTB, are the case studies that we did and stuff like that, I'll get those up there. We've just been constantly updating the new Qzx 2. If you don't have it, go to the homepage or your members area and get it. You got a month free. Check it out. It'll actually end up costing you less, and they have a lot more features in it. We just added on there. We'll just continue. We've got so many cool stuff already on there, but one of the things is that is now a business owner, because what you'll find is that it's got a really cool white label too, very easy to use for you and the customers, your clients. Is that you'd be surprised how many leads and how many phone calls that come in that never get answered. They just get dropped. No one answers the phone call. Nothing, none of that stuff. And so now you've got an option. You don't have to, but you've got an option to tick it on, where you can have the business owner or someone that the business owner designated can get text immediately if a phone call that comes in is not answered or dropped. Because what you'll see is that if you're sending some leads to these guys and guys, companies out there, you'd be surprised. There's like 30% up of these calls are not getting answered, and that's a lot of owners are not aware of that. So putting automated links to the tier 2 is the best way. Yeah, the automated links, I would not point automated links directly at your money sites. Any of the tier 2s type stuff, you just blast away at them. Go for it. Your Web 2.0s, your private blog networks. Whoever they are, they say letting the backlinks be discovered naturally by Google is the best way. What do you think about the indexing services? I think the indexing services are fine. But we are sending quality backlinks from our private blog, private blog networks or Web 2.0, and we're blasting them from the back, so they're getting plenty of attention, so they will get indexed. Outbound links to authority sites, sure. Yeah, I mentioned that earlier. Okay, so Marlon asked on here, have you tested the meta tags, city keyword versus keyword city, to see which one works better, or is it the same? We just, like in our title, we just use the city name. We're not even using the keyword in the city name. It's too spammy. Now in the keywords within the article and the actual content of it, we're gonna end up having the keyword plus the city name. And if you want to know which one gets more searches, a good place to go might be to check out Google Keyword Planner and type one in and then the other and see which one gets more searches. And then that would be the one that I would use. But I don't worry about it. Okay, can you use Web 2.0 to link to multiple niches? Yes. Yep. Yep, just those Web 2.0 properties, just go for them. Just start pointing them out to different niches and all kinds of stuff. You're fine. And you can also theme them out too, just like you would with private blog networks. You can, with your private blog networks, some of them you can theme out, and some of them you can just have for just random stuff. And that looks totally natural, okay? And that was another thing when we did our study, is that I don't disagree that if I had my ideal backlink, it would come from a theme site. It would be contextual, high trust, high page rank, very old site. That would obviously be the ideal. But it doesn't mean that every link needs to come from a theme site. And what we found, like with Roto-Rooter, some of their what we could tell were the oldest sites with the highest page rank and the highest rank authority had nothing to do with plumbing. Okay, nothing, right? And they didn't have not a whole lot of sites and backlinks that were going to them had to do with actual plumbing. They had some, all right. There's no doubt about it, but it's not what we're thinking about. So don't start thinking, if I get a private blog network, that every single blog network and every Web 2.0 property that I've got has got to be themed out. It doesn't. Okay. Some of them should be, and that would be a great idea to do, but not all of them have to be. It's just because that's not what's happening in the real world. Is this master site using subdirectories? No. Pages. No subdirectories. All pages. Okay, so I ordered some educational government links, but they probably profile links. Should I order more? I would not order any more. If you've got some profile backlinks, they're probably going to show up. If you did like a whole, like a 50 or 100 of them or something like that, I would just, for that, wherever you are pointing those, I would just leave them alone. I would just forget about government and educational backlinks. And the reason is that we just never found sites locally that we consistently found local sites, not like lead gen sites like what we're in the business of doing, but real businesses out there, and they consistently didn't have 50 or 20 or 10, but just like 1, 2, 3. The entire Roto-Rooter, which has like 14,000 pages, it's enormous. So they cover every city in the U.S. I think. They had 3. Okay, 3. All right, so you've probably got enough pointing out there. I wouldn't bring any more attention to government or educational links to it. I'd focus on the other stuff. Can we link to money site and private blog network in the same post from the Web 2.0? Man, I'm confused. Let me read that again. See if I can figure it out. Can we link to a money site? Yes, we can link to a money site and a private blog network in the same post from the Web 2.0. I must be tired. If you could rephrase that and write that in, and if I don't get it answered, send it into our tech support. I can't figure that out. Is there an automated system that can do all this Web 2.0's, private blog networks, comments, etc. automatically? Not that I'm aware of, but man, that would be an awesome system, wouldn't it? There are, well, I shouldn't say that. There are, I don't know the names of them off the top of my head, but I do know that there are tools out there where you can, like, if you got your private blog networks, your Web 2.0, you can like log into them all from one dashboard, and then, post comments and stuff like that, and, or not comments, post your articles to it and stuff. So I shouldn't say that there isn't, but to do it all, not that I know What about wiki links? If you want to do wiki links, that's fine. We didn't see those show up, so that's why I didn't include them here. But I think that I think one or two contextual, and then if you blast the back of those with some other links, I think that would be fine. It's just when you get those wiki links, 500 wiki links for $10 or something like that, or 50 wiki links for $5. Just stay away from that stuff. I would take on a nice, good wiki link manual, 100% original content, non-spammy anchor text going out. Sure, I would do one of those. How would you link to your citation? You just get your URL to your citation. So whatever your URL is to not the URL to like Yelp itself, but the URL that only brings up your unique citation. It doesn't show anyone else's. It's not a laundry list. Like, here's all the plumbers. Here's 20 plumbers that show up on page 1. And no, that's not the URL. It's when you go, oh, there's mine right there, and you click on that, and then it blows up, and you usually shows your picture, and it's got your description in there, and maybe it's got some ratings, stuff like this. That's your URL. It'll take you directly to your listing on that citation. That's the URL used for backlinks. Yes, you can. Oh yeah, Webify. You can. Yeah, I didn't include what you can. Definitely, Webify is like one of the most. For those of you, I don't know if they're closed or not anymore. I know that, but if you got Webify, congratulations. Webify is an awesome source of backlinks. The reason is that it's especially for brand new site, for any type of site, but especially for brand new sites, it's a newsfeed site. It's an authority site. What's going to happen is that you're going to get more times than not, you're going to get that particular newsfeed or one of them to rank on page 1. Then I'd backlink that to keep that up there. Plus, you're going to get about another 200 to 300 ish other backlinks from other news feeds pointing to your site. So you get those links, and it's all natural because it's all like a news blast. Okay. And that's totally natural and new. It's totally natural looking. And you get to, you can put in a video, you can, which is awesome, because if you can put in a video, you can embed a video, then the chances of that video ranking, particularly if it's a YouTube video, ranking in the search engine is going to happen much better, because you can actually rank a YouTube video pretty darn fast if you're using it contextual instead of backlink to it. It's contextually used in a lot of sites, and a newsfeed is awesome. Anyways, if anyone's interested in Webify, contact my support, and I'll check and see if they're still open or available. I don't know, but it'd definitely be one of those backlinks on there. I'm trying to, in this presentation, I'm trying to be as general as possible for just, not specific, like, hey, you have to get Webify to make this work. But if you've got that tool, man, just, use that first and see if you don't already rank on page 1. Just check that out. But that'd definitely be your a good tool belt to have. Yeah. Okay. What anchor text percentage do you recommend for linking to citations, Web 2.0, and private blog networks? Feel free to get as spammy as you want on those. We don't have any problems with that. If you want to go natural, go natural. If you want to get a little bit more spammy, those we don't worry about, and those we do get more spammy with. In other words, we use a lot more keywords when we're backing to those. How many links are local sites typically getting? It's a good question. How many should we build? You should build only as many as it takes to get you to page 1, and build slowly. That's it. Nice and slow. Slow and steady gets you there. And if you're doing if you're using a master domain site, then you will find that tipping point as it starts to build momentum and gain more authority and trust through multiple cities and so on and so forth. There'll just come a point where it's like, yep, we trust you. Here you go, page 1. Won't be that easy, but it's going to be a heck of a lot easier than your first couple cities were on here. And So how many sites are typical on here? Not as many as you would think in the PDF report that I haven't posted up, where we did like Roto-Rooter, we did a Bales Bond site, we broke it all down. They don't have as many links as you would think they have. Okay, it's not like they have thousands and thousands. It's not at all like that. Okay. I was looking at some high PR blog rolls on eBay, but when I analyzed the high PR site, I noticed that their domain authority was a 7. Yeah, that's a good. I mean, if Marlon, if you're looking at the, that's a good point. If you're looking at their domain authority, and it's it's below a 20, I guess, depending on the tool that you use, and you're saying it's a 7, but they have a PR of a 6. I would probably look for something else. That's a good point. It's kind of right now. No one really kind of knows where PageRank is standing, because there hasn't been an update for like ever, so we've kind of, the SEO community has kind of come up with this authority number, and again, that's made up. It's not made up or stamp approved by Google, right? But definitely something to possibly look at there. If you wanted to, if you have the time, the effort, and the fortitude, if you could find a domain and the authority was above a 15, port search is 20, and had a high page rank, and you had that between an authority of a 7, then I'd definitely go with the others. The master theme is just, I think I've answered that question, so I'm going to just let that one go. Okay. Can you go over how the procedures for updating the old Qzx theme? I just did. It's just like anything else. It just pushes right through. I showed some pictures on it. I went over how to do links. Yeah, definitely. Sean mentions on here, it'd be a good idea to link a high PR to a citation and then to another citation. I don't know if you could do that, but I don't see any problem with that. Let's say you had a high PR link source. I don't know where that would come from, then, but if you wanted to link out to one site, if you had an opportunity to link out two links, and you wanted to link out to citation here for Yelp and another one for Yellow Pages, for your same company, that's absolutely no problem with that whatsoever. We're really, what we're seeing, and this is what we said when we studied our, we really examined and put on a PDF. I'll put it up on the site. We really examined closely 3 sites and 3 different niches that were ranking in multiple cities. And one thing they all had in common is they had no spun content on any of their sites. And if you follow their backlinks back, they had no spun content that we could detect. So we've stopped using spun content. And it is a little more work and it's a little harder, but I'm thinking that Google kind of smart, and I'm thinking that they can detect that stuff. That's just my guess. I don't know, but we've stopped using it. So, yeah, Webify could you could use Webify to build a private blog network sites. You could do that. You're paying every time. I can't remember what it is. It's not that much. It's not like a, it's very similar to PR Web, and PR Web is like, it's $150, and that's the one you're going to want to get, or even the higher one. But it's a fraction of that of what Webify costs. But that's something you want to point right at your. Right directly at your site. There's no problem with that. It's a good And if you had some extras left over and you wanted to kind of pump up your private blog networks, then I think that would be fine. But my first line of choice with the Webify would be directly to my money sites. It's a safe source to do that for sure. And then another thing I do with Webify after that, before private blog networks, is I would try to use Webify to try to get another property to rank on page one. So I'd probably point it like at a citation. That would be I've never done that before. It's actually, I'm going to do that. That's a great idea. Glad I thought of it. And I would take Webify and then, blast it at my money site. So I'm going to get around 200-300 links or maybe a little bit more. And then I would take another Webify and I would blast out another one to one of my citations. And again, I would be pointing, if I had like 4 citations, I would be pointing it at the citation that I saw in those 5 cities. It was maybe in those 5 cities I saw, Thumbback or Yellow Pages or Yelp. In every single city it seemed to be, that was the one citation that was always on page one. And guess what? That's the one I'm going to blast with Webify. And if someone's got Webify, try that out. I'm thinking that would be a winner for sure. And then you'd have, a Webify news feed up on page one. Then you'd have a citation up on page one. And then, of course, you'd have your site too. And then the next thing I'd do with Webify is probably point it towards your YouTube video before I would start doing the private blog networks. But I'm going to test that out. That's good stuff. Okay. Yeah, so spun content, what I'm saying is better safe than sorry. I would just steer away from it. What am I thinking of? I'm getting Webify confused. No, it's not Webify. I'm sorry if I did that. It's Chris Munch's Sky. I'm tired. It's a Sky Ranker. I'm sorry. Now I've kind of screwed everybody up in the call. So if I go back and edit this on here, I've messed up twice already, big time on this so far today. But anyways, off to a bad start when I didn't even turn the dumb screen on. So anyways, or not the dumb screen. That was my fault, right? So I'm not Webify. I apologize for that. And thank you for pointing that out. But the Sky Ranker, it was Chris Munch's Sky Ranker, and I don't know if that's available, but the Sky Ranker is the one. That is a press release on that end of it, and that's a good source in there, and that's what I meant to say. So go back and edit in your mind. Whenever I said Webify, instead think Sky Ranker on here. Sorry about that. Okay. Yeah, Sky Ranker. There we go. Thank you, Jason. People already. I gotta scroll down here. Yep, Chris Munch. Yep. And Michael X has the news. Yeah, if you've got Michael X's product, that's a little more spending. But if you've got Michael X's product, that's it there, or the Chris Munch on that. Those are the news feeds out there, and those are some good ones. Yeah. Okay. Alrighty, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up on here, and we'll get this posted and put up on the website. We've got a lot of work to do on putting some content on that end of it. I appreciate those for you being patient out there. We're just been working hard with the new K2, Qzx 2. If you haven't had a chance to test it out, please do. You get a month of that for free. It's on the homepage. We've done all kinds of great stuff to the theme. You can now you could have a theme, and you could now with the calls. I'll do another call on this, but now with the Qzx theme, every plugin. So you just install the plugin once, and it'll show up for Houston or Sacramento. But let me show you how to do that in the videos and the call to Qzx 2, Qzx 2. It'll go to different places. So if you're in Sacramento and you got clients in Sacramento, you can point the email leads to the clients in Sacramento. You can round robin it out to different clients, and you do all kinds of stuff with it. So even though it's on the same site, it recognizes each page, city as a separate site, as a separate entity on that end of it. And you can now put different logos on different sites, because and that's another thing where it'll be the next update, which will be coming very, very soon. Is that what we found is that we got the prepaid, right, and we got the postpaid. We're doing all of our clients now. We do prepaid, and it's called K2 is totally set up for that. Okay, and it's the way to go. Prepaid, prepaid. Postpay, if you want to do postpay, that's fine. And then the other thing is that some of our sites, sometimes it's just easier, depending on the niche, to just offer just a flat fee. And that's the next in the paid version. That will be another version of it. Just, you know what? I built this master domain site. I've got it in 20 cities, but these 5 cities over here is just for those particular 5 cities with the clients that I've got there. They're just happier with just a monthly fee. They still want to be able to log in, and they see the value of listening to the phone calls, of seeing how many dropped, of getting text if they miss a phone call. They still appreciate all that kind of stuff. Just for them, it works better, and I've decided I'm just going to offer them a flat fee for that. But they get all these other services, and they can come in and analyze the phone calls and listen to them, and they get text and stuff. That's all there. That's going to be there as well. So there's a lot of cool stuff with that. And so we got a lot of coaching and training to get caught up with that. But for now, that's good stuff on here. And we will head out for now. And I appreciate it. Remember, surf first, earn more, live more. Take care. Bye-bye.